Good morning, everybody. Guess where I am this evening? It's a fine evening and I'm in a graveyard for some reason. Well, it's a graveyard. It's a very historic graveyard and it's actually a public little public park. And I'm actually here in the town of Ryde on the Isle of Wight on this beautiful May evening in this historic graveyard of St. Thomas's Church in the town of Ryde on the Isle of Wight. I'll just flip the camera around a bit. So that's the Church of St. Thomas's there, and this is the little graveyard come public garden. All these gravestones are from about 300 years old, thereabouts. But it's a nice little pleasant park where we've got these modern seating and stuff. So I'm on the Isle of Wight at the moment. I'm having a nice weekend away from London, switching off away from London, my beloved Isle of Wight. So this is a little detail about St. Thomas's churchyard, and there's St. Thomas's Church itself on this beautiful sunset. So this is the town of Ryde on the Isle of Wight, which is the gateway to the Isle of Wight. So I'll get through these gates here, and what we'll do, we'll take a walk round Ryde. So this is the town centre in Ryde, so that's the high street up there. So that's Ryde High Street with its restaurants and bars. Straight ahead, that's Cross Street. So what we'll do, we'll have a little walk down Union Street. So that's Cross Street up there. And then what we'll do is we'll walk across Union Street. What we'll do, that's Union Street looking all the way down towards the Solent. So this is the most famous shopping street in the Isle of Wight. This is Union Street, where in the distance, all the way across the Solent, you can actually see Portsmouth. So what we'll do, we'll take a little walk down Union Street, down towards Ryde bus station, on this beautiful spring evening. Hope everybody's keeping well. Hope everyone's keeping out of mischief and trouble. I'm trying to most of the time, as you know. Taking a nice weekend away from Heritage Service A. Time to rest and recuperate before I head back to the madness of London once again. So this is the town of Ryde, which is the gateway to the Isle of Wight. So I'm heading northwards along Union Street. Oh, we have a bus. I'll video that in a short while. So here we are on the Isle of Wight. The buses are operated by a bus company called Southern Vectis. There's the famous Yelfs Hotel, that's been there since the Romans invaded. One of the many hotels and restaurants in Ryde. So what we'll do, we'll just video this bus as it heads down Union Street. So there's a Southern Vectis bus heading down towards Ryde bus station on service 3 from Shanklin and Ventnor. Vectis, of course, being the Roman name for the Isle of Wight, and Southern being the former Southern Railway, which took over the Vectis Bus Company in 1929. There's a famous Royal Victoria Arcade, which was opened by Queen Victoria in the 1850s. Still going strong as the famous Royal Victoria Arcade. What we shall do, we shall cross over Union Street, where we see the main arcade in more detail. That's Union Street looking north, looking south rather, and that's Union Street looking north. This is the main shopping thoroughfare of Ryde, where I absolutely love this town. Ryde is the gateway to the Isle of Wight, which is the town where the ferry arrives from Portsmouth, as well as the hovercraft from Southsea. So now I'm heading down the steep hill in Union Street, where we head towards Ryde Esplanade and the bus station. And as you can see, the Solent is getting ever more closer on this fine evening. This is a very, very steep hill. It's easy to climb down, but not very good to climb up. There's the old branch of Toy Master. That's one of the places I remember from my day back in the 80s. Still going strong. Good old Toy Master, where I used to get my Lego sets back in the 80s when I was on holiday on the Isle of Wight. So in a short while, in a roly-mo, we shall be arriving at Ryde Esplanade itself. Do excuse the shaky camera, but I'm just holding it with my normal right hand. Makes a change from what I normally hold in my right hand, if you get my drift. So we're coming to the bottom end of Union Street, or as the French call it, Onion Street, here in wonderful Ryde. And what I like about this street and the various other streets in Ryde, you've got these old enamel street signs still in situ. So there's one there, you can just see it there, Union Street, the old Edwardian or Victorian enamel signs. So this is Union Street looking upwards, looking south. So over there is the Ryde Esplanade Transport Interchange, or bus station to you and me. And we can have a look at this beautiful sunset. So vehicles to start off, and we shall cross with care. And look at that sunset. Oh my word, that is beautiful. Sunset over the Solent, boys and girls. So what we'll do, we'll just walk to this little park, this little garden here. Keep up, as I will be asking questions later. Look at this beautiful tree. Beautiful tree here in the heart of Ryde. And look at that sunset. Isn't that so beautiful? I absolutely adore sunsets, and this is a beautiful May sunset. And in the distance you can just about see the chimneys of what used to be the old Fawley oil refinery. Most of that's all since closed in the course of being redeveloped. Also these white lights here. This is Ryde Pier, which carries the railway line from Ryde Pier Head all the way down to Shanklin. Now at the moment Ryde Pier is closed to traffic because they're rebuilding the pier with a new walkway facility, as well as refurbishing Ryde Pier Head railway station. So this is Ryde Pier, which we'll be coming to very shortly. So this is low tide on the Solent coming up. And look at that for a picture. Look at this sunset. Isn't this so beautiful? And this is such a wonderful world. And this is the architecture that we have here in Ryde. So this is the town of Ryde, spelt R-Y-D-E, not R-I-D-E, R-Y-D-E. So this is Ryde. Gateway to the Isle of Wight. So that building over there straight in front of us, that's Ryde Esplanade Station, where you can get a train service on the Island line from Ryde all the way down to Brading, Sandown, Lake and Shanklin. And this is the pier itself. This is Ryde Pier, which was built in the 1860s, 1870s. And it's half a mile long. And right on the other end is Ryde Pier Head Station, where you have the interchange with the ferry service that goes to Portsmouth. And over there we have the Solent along with this beautiful sunset. That in the distance, that is the northern point of the Isle of Wight, so that's places like East Cowes, where they have all the yachting events throughout the summer, where all the poshos gather for Cowes Week. So this is Ryde Pier in all its glory. As you can see, the tide has come out, because normally the tide comes all the way in. So this is all seaweed and sand and all sorts of stuff going on. So that's Ryde Esplanade Station, so we'll come forward a bit as we make our way towards the station. There's a lovely smell of seaweed and fresh sea air, and it's so invigorating, it's lovely. So as you can see, that's Union Street over there. So that's where I just came down about 5 minutes ago. So that's Union Street. I'll just zoom in. So that's Union Street there, straight in front of you. And that takes you right up into Ryde town centre. And then we've got these wonderful buildings. There's a lot of building work going on because they've redesigned the road layout here. So what we'll do is we'll just go round the crossing. So this road here is all brand new. This is the access road that takes you to Ryde Pier. So what we'll do, we'll just be a bit cheeky and go on the main road. There's a famous King Lud pub on the other side of the road. So what we'll do is we'll go into Ryde bus station, which is this bit here. So this is Ryde bus station, which is normally busy with Southern Vectis buses, but as it's the early evening, most of the buses have gone. There are still buses that run, but it's not as frequent as they are during the day. So what I'll do, I'll show you the hovercraft terminal, or as we used to call it, the Hovercraft. So here's some more classic buildings of Ryde, classic architecture in Ryde. So do excuse all this building work, but there's a lot of building work going on with the rebuilding of Ryde bus station. There's a famous Eagle pub. It used to be a pub, now it's a restaurant or fish and chip shop. So this is the redesigned bus station in Ryde. So this is all the rebuilding plans going on in terms of the new bus station as well as the new railway station premises. Years ago this used to be the old Sawtooth bus station, where buses used to drive in and reverse out. Nowadays it's a drive-through bus station, which has these little dainty little shelters. Here's some more architecture. Another one of the famous Ryde landmarks, this fine Victorian building. Ryde being a Victorian seaside town. Now that road straight in front behind all that building work, that is George Street. So that's where all the traffic goes south. So Union Street is where the traffic goes north. George Street, which is that road over there, that's where all the traffic goes up the hill south towards Ryde town centre. So as you can see in front of you, there is this wonderful little footbridge, and that connects the bus station here in Ryde with the hovercraft terminal. So I'll show you a couple of the hovercrafts in a minute, because what we can do, we can go over this footbridge and then we can have a look at the hovercrafts, and if we're lucky we might even catch an Island Line train. So what we do, we go up these steps and we've got a wonderful view. You'll get a wonderful view of Ryde Esplanade Station as well as the other local amenities. So we've got these wonderful roadside gardens. This is still in the course of being rebuilt, but eventually these will become the revised roadside gardens here in Ryde. So what we do, we go up this footbridge to the top, where we shall also get a better view of the sun going down over the Solent. So there's Ryde Pier, and here is one of the hovercrafts. So this is a hovercraft service operated by Hover Travel. So this is one of the two hovercrafts, so that's one of the hovercrafts there called the Island Flyer. And then there's this other hovercraft, so there's normally two hovercrafts, so this is the other one. And both these hovercrafts operate on the hovercraft service which links Ryde with Southsea, which is a district of Portsmouth. So right in the distance, behind the hovercrafts, that's Portsmouth in the distance over there. There's one of the cross-channel ferries over in the distance, right in the middle of the video. So that in the distance, you can just see Spinnaker Tower, that's Portsmouth there, that's the city of Portsmouth as well as Gosport. We've got this beautiful sunset. And lo, we have a Southern Vectis bus. So here's a Southern Vectis bus in all its majesty. Let me just zoom out slightly. Here we go. So this is an Enviro 400, one of the many buses which operate with Southern Vectis. So that's it in the 2006 Southern Vectis two-tone green livery. And it's operating on service 3, which runs to Newport. Although it goes to Newport the slightly long way, so it goes via the likes of Shanklin and Ventnor, etc. So that's on service 3, so it'll go via the likes of Brading, Sandown, Shanklin, Ventnor, and then onwards to Newport that way. Now, green has always been a livery or colour scheme associated with the Isle of Wight's buses since 1935. And like I say, Southern Vectis is the main bus company which operates on the Isle of Wight. Vectis being the Roman name of the Isle of Wight, because the Isle of Wight is shaped like a diamond, and of course a diamond, another word for a diamond is a vector. So that's where the Roman name Vectis came along. And Southern Vectis, the reason why it's called Southern Vectis is because originally the bus company was called the Vectis Bus Company, and in 1929 it was taken over by the Southern Railway, which used to run the railway services on the Isle of Wight and in the south of England. So hence the name Southern Vectis, Southern from Southern Railway, and Vectis of course being from the Vectis Bus Company. So that's the Southern Vectis bus there, operating on the long service 3 from Ryde to Newport via Shanklin and Ventnor. There is a more quicker service to get from Ryde to Newport, which is the service 9, and that goes a more direct way via the likes of Wootton or Wootton. But that's service 3, which goes towards the likes of Sandown, Shanklin and Ventnor. Now if we look closely, this is the railway line, so this is the famous Island Line railway line, so that's Ryde Esplanade Station. Oh, we've got a train, we've got a train, we've got a train, and it's one of the Class 484D trains there. Here it comes. Yeah, it is 484002. That was good timing, wasn't it? Woo! Woo! 484002, there she comes. So that's just arrived in from Shanklin. Class 484s being, of course, originally the old 1970s D-stock trains which used to run on the district line of the Underground, London Underground, between 1980 up until 2017. So that's one of the former London Transport D-stock, or London Underground D-stock. Talk about good timing there, wasn't it? Hey, so you've got, as you can see, we've got the hovercrafts, we've got the hovercraft, we've got the train, and we've got the bus. So we've got the 3 main items of transport for the Isle of Wight. So in the next 10 minutes, what will happen is that D-stock train, that's Class 484, will head off back towards Shanklin. So what I might do, I might actually hang around, so I will pause the video at some point. And then that way we can get a video of this train leaving Ryde Esplanade Station on its way towards Brading, Sandown Lake and Shanklin. Now this is the only remaining line that runs on the Isle of Wight which links Ryde with Shanklin, so that's the direction of Ryde Tunnel. So that's Ryde Tunnel over there. So this view is looking east. So that's Ryde Esplanade over there with all its trees and everything. And then just over there you can just see Ryde Tunnel. So that's where this track goes down a gentle gradient into Ryde Tunnel, which is just over there. And then the line continues south towards Ryde St John's Road, Smallbrook Junction, Brading, Sandown Lake and Shanklin. Now at Smallbrook Junction there is actually interchange between the Island Line and the Isle of Wight Steam Railway. There you go, the points have changed, ready for the train service to go back towards Shanklin. Yeah, so Smallbrook Junction, you've got the junction between the Isle of Wight Steam Railway and the Island Line Electric Railway. And Smallbrook Junction, that used to be where the Isle of Wight Steam Railway, as it is now, that used to be the old railway line that used to go towards Newport and Cowes, which closed in 1965 as part of Beeching's railway rationalisation plan of the Isle of Wight. So this is Ryde Esplanade Station. It's only got 1 platform now, but originally there used to be 2 platforms because years ago, back in the 80s and 90s, there used to be the shuttle service that used to connect Ryde Pierhead with Ryde Esplanade, and then passengers had to change at Ryde Esplanade in order to get the other train from Ryde Esplanade all the way through to Shanklin. But at the moment, Ryde Esplanade Station is closed because of the engineering works taking place on Ryde Pier, so there's no train service between Ryde Pierhead and Ryde Esplanade Station because of the engineering works, and also for the rebuilding of Ryde Pier, which will be finished hopefully around July time, in readiness for the next influx of tourists and visitors to the Isle of Wight. And as you can see, look at this for a picture, isn't it beautiful? You've got the hovercraft terminal, you've got Ryde Pier in the background, and you can also see Portsmouth. And if we look to our right, that cross-channel ferry is coming towards Portsmouth itself. Do excuse the hovercraft. So this is one of the two hovercrafts, as you can see. These were the two hovercrafts with the more low emission engines, which were introduced in 2016, replacing the original hovercrafts which dated from the early to mid 80s. So in the distance, that is Portsmouth over there. You can just about make out Spinnaker Tower there. And you can just see that continental ferry. That will probably be from somewhere like Cherbourg or Le Havre or Saint Malo over in France, and that's arriving into Portsmouth. So all that area in the distance, that's Portsmouth city centre along with Southsea. And all the way in the distance there you can see the likes of Hayling Island. So this is the heart of southern England, the beautiful Isle of Wight. So that was a good capture there. So what I'll do is I'll hold on to the video for a little while, and then hopefully we shall get a shot of the Class 484 leaving Ryde Esplanade station for Shanklin. And what I'll do is at the moment I'll leave you with this beautiful sunset. Look at this beautiful skyline. It is absolutely beautiful. And I absolutely love this town in the Isle of Wight. So I'll just zoom in on these buildings again, all these fine Victorian buildings. So hopefully in the next couple of months all this rebuilding work of Ryde bus station will be finished. And then everything will be all nice and clean and tidy, ready for the next tourist season, which will happen around June, July time. And I have fond memories of this town because years ago you used to have the old Sawtooth bus station in Ryde. But of course that has to be replaced by this modern curved road. So this curved road here, straight in the middle of your video, that is for buses only. And you have all the various bus stops where the buses pick up and set down to various places on the Isle of Wight, such as Newport, Ventnor, Shanklin, Brading, Sandown, etc., Bembridge. So what we're going to do is we're eventually going to be making Ryde Esplanade a transport interchange fit for the 21st century. So this view is looking south towards these fine buildings. The famous Ryde Esplanade Hotel, Royal Esplanade Hotel, which has been here since the Victorian era. So this building's been here since the 1870s. One of the many local landmarks in the town of Ryde. So this is Ryde Esplanade itself, looking eastwards towards the likes of Sea View, etc. So that's Ryde Esplanade over there. So this is the hover travel arrivals base. So this is where the hovercraft, this is the hovercraft terminal here. So what we'll do is we'll pause the video and we'll wait for the train to leave Ryde Pierhead Station in the next couple of minutes. I shall be back shortly. Okay, so as you can see, the Class 484 unit, 484002, that's got its white lights on, so that means it should be shortly departing Ryde Esplanade Station in the next couple of minutes, so we shall keep an eye on it as it starts its journey down the line, 8.5 mile line, all the way down towards Shanklin. Now, there's 5 units of the Class 484s, which are based at Ryde Depot. See if we can get a better view of it. It's a bit fuzzy, so do excuse the video. So what we'll do, we'll zoom out a bit. There you go, there goes the whistle. Which means that the train, there we are, there's the doors bleeping closed. And that means one thing and one thing only: the train is about to leave on the start of its journey towards Sandown at Lake Ryde and Shanklin. Let's just zoom in on the train. Here it goes. So there goes 484002 on its start of its journey down to Shanklin. Woo! There she comes. Under the bridge she goes and over the points. And there she goes towards Ryde Tunnel. Woo! Nice bit of arcing there. So that's 484002 heading down in towards Ryde Tunnel, where the next station on this service will be Ryde St John's Road, followed by Brading, Sandown, Lake and Shanklin. So that was a fortunate catch by my camera. So what I'll do, I shall bid you goodbye for the moment. I'll just leave you with this last look towards Ryde, and as you can see the sun's gone down. So what I shall do another greeting later. So unless I see you before, I shall shut down and I shall say ta for the like.